What's up? What's up? Welcome, everybody. It's officially the first real estate rookie roundtable call. We've actually rebranded our Monday night call to serving and helping people get into their first deal. So I think it's very clear for me that those are the types of people that I get to serve the most. Right. And I think for those of you guys that have been on this call, you know what I'm about. You know that I'm about mentoring, about teaching, about coaching, and sharing everything that I've learned, being in all the other bigger masterminds and stuff like that. For those of you guys that are new, I've actually created a PowerPoint today. So, Andrea's there. I knew Andrea was gonna laugh because this is not my specialty, but I'm going to put this PowerPoint on just to try to stay on topic because most of you guys know I tangent off all over the place. But I do want to, at least share the basics of real estate, and then we can get into Q&As. And also at the end, you guys get to break out into rooms and meet each other, which is sometimes the most valuable part of this call and being here. If you are here, you've invested the most valuable resource you have. So be here to create value. I think there's a saying that says, you get value based on the value that you put in, something like that. Okay, butchered it, but you guys get it. That means you have to be here in a way like I'm going to generate the value in here and I'm going to do it. All right. And for those of you guys that are brand new on this call, I'm going to give you my all. This is my level of energy all the time when I'm on these calls. And it's going to be like this. All right, let me just jump into it. I'm not going to do too big of an introduction. I'm kind of excited about the slides I made. It's probably the third PowerPoint I've ever made, minus some of the ones in college. And I don't even know if I made those. I think I had people make it for me. So here we go. Don't laugh at it. Okay. Oh, Nick, can you help me just let people into the room because now my screen is sharing. All right. All right. So I don't have any graphics or anything cool, but I want to for this call, it's for two different types of people. One, it's for somebody that's been wanting to get into the calls, get into real estate, don't know how to start, or you're stuck at a certain point in real estate and don't know where to go from there. The second one is if you are trying to get other people into real estate, into what you're doing, sometimes it's hard, right? Sometimes it's hard to, especially if you're just starting to get somebody else to be like, hey, invest in real estate. It's so great, but you don't really have the track record and people don't really know you for it. You can bring them onto this call on Mondays and ask me the questions of the things that you actually want them to hear. Because being on this call, now, authority or not, I automatically kind of have authority on this call. People are like, oh, Alex must know something. It's a bunch of people on these calls listening to whatever Alex is speaking about. So invite people to this call to get them into the possibility of doing it real estate or investing with you. A lot of people just there's a lot of these Zooms going on, and most of it is around multifamily. Okay, that I know, right? Around multifamily, and it's no longer really basic. It's still very complicated, right? To a lot of us that have been in the space for a while, it's simple. But I think if we bring it back down to like bite-sized pieces that people can digest, you can transfer knowledge, skills, and experience from the single family space, from real estate in general, any real estate experience you have, to the multifamily side. So we will get to multifamily. Ultimately, I think once you understand multifamily, there is no other games to play. Right? For those of you guys that do have single families, you know how much of a pain in the ass that is. And at the end of the year, you probably haven't even made any money, right? Especially the first year that you own the property. All it takes is one tenant to move out for 2 months, and that eats away at your cash flow for the entire year that you made. So that's Yeah, multifamily is where it's at. So we're getting there. We're gonna get there. But this call is for people that are new and want an introduction to real estate. And every week we'll kind of go over something that's basic, and then we'll start to move depending on the questions that are asked in here. The level of sophisticatedity. No, you know what I mean. How sophisticated the questions and the calls go. It's going to be based on those questions, which we'll do Q&A shortly here. So just to kind of get this going, I'm going to stay on topic, because if I don't have this PowerPoint or these slides, I probably will not stay on topic. So on tonight's call, we're going to talk about why real estate, the types of real estate investments there are, some of your key considerations, getting started, and networking. Now, most of this, I just kind of asked ChatGPT to be like, hey, what are people struggling with, right? Like, what are people struggling with? What should I cover? Because I don't know. Sometimes, like, the things that I think are simple, people might be like, yeah, I have no idea what that's all about. And I can't bring myself all the way to 18 years ago when I started. I tried. So I had to ask AI for help. All right. So just a little introduction of me. I am the founder of Legends Equity Group and the Legends Mastermind. I have about 18 years plus now in real estate. And when I say real estate experience, I actually mean my education began at that point. Right, when I picked up Rich Dad Poor Dad and I started reading, and then a whole new world opened up for me. And I hope that I could be an extension of that energy that I felt, that shift that I felt, which was, wow, there's something different than going to school, getting a job, and just living this life, get a golden retriever, start a family, live in the suburbs, and then just do this for the rest of my life. There was something else. Another way to do it. I didn't have to go do accounting or finance or be a pharmacist like my sister is right now, and nothing wrong with that. But I knew there was something different. So entrepreneurship was always kind of in me. When I was young, I would be selling, one of my first big moves was I went to China, bought a whole bunch of samurai swords and butterfly knives when I was in 5th grade, came back, I bought them for like $1 to $6. Okay, that's how cheap they were at that time. I came back, I bought 2 suitcases full, and I sold them to my friends. I remember butterfly knives, $65, little samurai swords, $125. Like, that was my first like real hustle in middle school. And from that point, I started to sell pins to teachers. I bought a little pin machine. I started to make fake report cards. I was one of the first to buy a scanner. Okay, like, scanners was not a thing. Okay, for JJ and Nick, they're like, what do you mean? Who even uses scanners now, right? So when scanners first came out, I would scan the report cards onto a computer and make fake report cards for people for $75 in middle school. All right, so I've been entrepreneurial like my whole life, and it wasn't until I read Rich Dad Poor Dad that I realized, whoa, I could play a much, much larger game, and I can start playing Monopoly for real. And so that's when I really got started. Now, I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have a teacher. I didn't have calls like this. I didn't have anybody to ask questions of the questions I had. So it took me about 5 more years, actually, 6 more years after I started my real estate journey to buy my first triplex. Yeah, selling candy, whatever. I sell anything. So to this day, now with all my single families, with all of the multi-units that I have, storage units, multifamily deals, it totals a little bit over 800 units. Okay, so that's the assets under management. And even in today's economy, most of our deals are actually still distributing to our investors, because there's fundamentals about real estate that I had that was really strong, that I did not waver no matter what type of temptations I got from the lenders. Right. So just really quick example, we had an opportunity to get a deal at, I think it was like 3.5% interest rate adjustable, or 4.4 or 4.2% fixed. I was like, yeah, I'm going to take fixed. Right. Even though we did have we wanted to cash out early. The reason why you would go adjustable and go bridge is if you wanted to do some value adds and you want to cash out, do a refinance early. If you're in usually fixed debt, you would have prepayment penalties and things like that. But, for me, I just, when I have investors' money, I'm very, very cautious. I was like, my fundamentals say it's safer to just get fixed, even if it's a couple points higher, right? So that's why today the market, whatever it's doing, it's really not affecting most of our deals on the debt side, on the lending side. Now there's insurance going up and expenses going up, of course, but we are still distributing. I've done 3 100% cash outs for investors, and to this date, have not lost any money for any of my investors, nor have I called for an investor to inject more money into a deal to save it. Okay, so that's what I've done. Now, investing in general has its risks. So anybody that invests, you want to know that an investment has risks. Okay. Mentoring and coaching for people like Barbara and other people that have known me for a while, that mentoring and coaching is my true passion and my true calling in life. So teaching, doing things on these calls, this is my jam, right? I feed and I grow off of being able to share and teach people. So I've mentored over 100+ investors and people. I am the founder of Legends Mastermind. We have like 55 members in our mastermind, and together we are working not just on creating real estate, but also in all areas of your life. We work on relationships, we work on business development, spirituality. All of that is attached into one place. We bring transformational trainers in there and train us on mindset, because this game, just like all other things, whatever you want to learn, okay, the learning and how to do it is literally 5 to 10% of what it takes to be successful in there. All right. So to do real estate, 5 to 10% is learning how to do it. The other 90 to 95% is your mindset, is your grit, is your fortitude, it's your, ability to overcome challenges, ability to let go of past limiting beliefs and take on a new possibility. Those are all things that you got to be able to work with yourself. That is 95% of the game. I know some people on this call, being in the multifamily space has been extremely stressful. I know a lot of people who have started the same time that I did in multifamily, and I don't hear from them ever anymore because of the perseverance and all of that is not there. The why wasn't strong enough there, and the clarity wasn't there. The clarity of why am I doing this every single day is not there. So 3 months in, no results. Okay, I'm going to try one more month. 4 months in, no results. 5 months, no results. I'm done. Right? We call that in the transformational work the drift. The drift pulls you back to your everyday thing again, that you were like, oh, I'm so excited for real estate, I'm getting it, I'm learning so much. See, we discredit and we don't give ourselves enough credit for the things that we've learned, and we want to see results. We're like, we need results. The results will come. Okay, you got to be persistent and you got to really want it. So just real quick for people that are new and learning, why real estate? So stability and tangibility. Okay, this is the tangibility part is actually the one that I want to land here. Is you can touch it. You can touch the asset. This is a hard asset, right? When inflation is going, paper assets are very volatile. They're made up. The value of paper is really made up. Your dollar is made up, and so is your stock. I don't care what people say. The company could be doing great, and the paper itself could be like rock bottom, based on wherever the economy goes. But your real estate, the stability of it is that it's a hard asset and it sits there, and you can touch it and it generates cash flow, right? That's the second part, which is it can survive any downturn as long as the cash flow is there. Because normally in the downturn for real estate, people might say, oh, but your real estate value went down. But when real estate value is down, guess what's up usually? the renters are up. How many people need to rent goes up. That means the demand goes up and rent goes up. And in the multifamily space, when rent goes up and you make more money, your property is going to be worth more money. All right. So there's and when I say diversification, I don't mean diversifying from stocks and from crypto into real estate. I mean, just with inside real estate, you can diversify into all sorts of strategies and types of assets to buy. Right? That's the cool part about real estate. I can buy land, I can do short-term rentals, I can do long-term rentals. I can fix and flip, I can fix and hold. This is the real hedge against inflation. When you own a hard asset like this. All right, so you can diversify in it. Now, the best thing about real estate and about wealth creation and legacy creation is the tax advantages in real estate. When you do real estate, you get to a point, okay, in taxes. So I'll just kind of give you a quick journey of how it goes. You invest into a deal, you get returns, okay? You can use something called depreciation. Not only depreciation, if you can write off expenses such as like the interest and other things from the asset to offset your income from it. So now you're making money. Okay, your money is making money and you don't pay taxes on it. When you're trading your time for money, you're paying taxes on it. So on the side, okay, you need to be creating something that is kind of reproducing on its own. And by the time you retire, hopefully this thing is big enough that it pays and it covers your expenses. It covers your expenses. It gives you a different style of living and your capital grew. That's the main thing, is that the capital that you put into something, it's grown over time and it's still paying you and you pay no taxes on it. Okay. So for me, I've gotten to a point where I buy real estate. I write off my taxes. I write off against all of my income. So I don't pay any taxes. But because I'm using up the depreciation, okay, the cost basis, that means my property that I bought for, $500,000, I put 200,000 down. Because I'm taking the depreciation, that 200,000, the taxable income is no longer just the difference between my interest of my mortgage and the equity, but my equity actually goes down on paper. So I have to pay more taxes. Now, when that capital gains event comes, I have to invest money into another deal so that I can offset that capital gains. And this is being a real estate professional and getting to a point where you just have to keep buying real estate. And now I have to grow my kingdom, my portfolio. My assets just grow every year because I have to invest into it. Otherwise, I'm going to pay a lot of taxes. Right? So you want to get to that point. You want your assets to pay you and create this tax shelter against your other incomes. Right? So at this point, I can make money doing anything because I'm a real estate professional, which we're not going to talk about on this call because that's a little more advanced. But when you're a real estate professional, all of your income is depreciable and you can write off against your real estate. Okay, so the tax advantages, this is why every single wealthy person has control or owns real estate or invests into real estate. Because this is really the only place that you can truly shelter from taxes. Now, I know financial advisors will say, look, you can take this money, you pay the taxes now, you go put it into this account and you go grow this account, and then later you won't have to pay taxes on it. Yeah, but why would you put money somewhere where you can't touch it and you can't grow it and it grows at a slow rate? It's like a slow death, right? And you get to a point where you retire and you only got a couple $100,000. Real estate is very simple in this way. I'm going to tell you the reason why I would invest in real estate over anything else is simply the doubling effect. How long does it take? Okay, there's something called the rule of 70. So if you take the returns of something, so let's say it's 10% returns, you divide that by 70%, it'll tell you how many years it would take to double. Okay. to really double that number. So if you invest the $10,000, or is it multiply? Sorry, hold on. The rule of 70. I'm confusing myself here for a second because it's taking too long to double. That's why. So you divide the number 70 by that growth rate. Sorry, my bad. Okay, so if you take 70 and you divide it by, let's say it's a 5% return. So 70 divided by 0.05. No, that's not right. Divide the number 70 by the variable growth. Oh, okay. So percentage. So 70, say it's 5%. So 70 divided by 5. It would take you 14 years to double your money. In real estate, you should be able to do, and I think that number is also wrong. I'll figure out the rule of 70 later. If somebody can look it up for me, rule of 72, something like that. Okay, thanks. Real estate, if you buy a $100,000 property, cost you $20,000 to buy it. 5 years later, everybody can agree that it would be worth $120,000, right? Very easily. Very easily, that property in 5 years, yeah, I can see it being worth 120K. That is a 100% return on your money. It's a 20% increase in the property, but it's a 100% return on your money. That means 5 years, very simply, we can double our money in real estate, right? We can see that. We can see that as a possibility. Now, let's say that's our retirement plan. We take $100,000, the rule of 72. Yeah. Thanks, Trevor. Trevor, everybody, from Massive Capital. Amazing, very knowledgeable dude and a big giver and contributor. Just really awesome guy. And I have been watching him for quite a while now, and just seeing his growth and what he's up to and what he's been creating with Massive Capital is truly amazing. So thank you for being here, Trevor. And if you want to put your contacts, so people can also, yeah, and people can also reach out and chat with you. There it is. Connect with Trevor for sure. So if you take $100,000 and you double it in 5 years, it becomes 200. Then you double it again, it becomes 4. Then it becomes 8. Then it becomes 1.6 million. Then it becomes 3.2 million. Then it becomes 6.4 million, 12.8, 25.6. That is a 40-year process. $100,000 turns into $25.6 million in 40 years. That's possible in real estate. We can see that real estate can double in 5 years. That means your 100,000 can turn into 25.6 million. Now, if that's not generational chain breaking financial freedom, I don't know what is, because 25.6 million invested into a 5%, let's just say some kind of annuity or real estate or some kind of cash flow, 5%, that's $1.25 million a year. I think you, everyone in your future generations can retire off of that, as long as they keep doing it, because 5 more years later, that becomes $51.2 million. Then 102. This is why in one generation, through real estate, people can turn the future of their family around. You know, and so for anybody that's here that hasn't started, let this be an awakening or a calling to you to say, I'm going to start today. Okay, figure out what that's going to look like, and we'll go to a slide later for it. The type of investments, okay, and once I finish this, I'll do Q&A, and then we'll kind of go into a little more other things, so if we have time. So the type of real estate investments, like this is the common ones, which is residential. A lot of us start in the residential space because we think that's what we can afford. We have yet to get into the team mindset. Okay, team, like team. Everything in life is in teams. All right, and with teams, you go further, you go faster, and you make things happen. And I believe everything should be done in teams. So I love building communities. I love being on these calls, connecting people. Like it's amazing. I've been, you know, my sister's always like, yo, you are a cult leader wherever you go. I'm like, I love cults all day, everywhere. You know, MLMs, transformational trainings, multifamily, whatever. You know, 10x community, some rock community, like warrior group. I'm part of everything. Cult making money. Yeah, exactly. So type of investments, residential, and you know, we can change the paradigm of cults and our perceptions of what cults are, right? Freaking Apple is a cult. uh Types of real estate investments, we start on residential. Residential is anything under 4 units. So if you think you're in multifamily and you got a 2 unit, you're not in multifamily. Okay, you're in residential, and we'll call it 2 units. Okay, we'll call it duplex, triplex, quadplex. Now once you go over that, because there's different types of loans that you get. Okay, when you're in residential, it depends on your credit. It depends on the bank is underwriting you. Once you get to the commercial side, which is more than 5 units, which is no longer under residential, the bank is underwriting the deal. They're underwriting the deal, and they're looking at your net worth and stuff. Nobody's checked my credit in forever. I don't even know what credit is used for right now. You know, for me personally, I know for majority, credit is still really important. For me, like, I don't think anybody's checked my credit in a while. Maybe Aaron's checked my credit. Aaron's still pulling my credit every other day, because we're doing like single family builds and stuff like that. When are we gonna upgrade to building multifamilies in North Carolina, man? All these houses that we're building on the mountains.
I don't know. I've been kind of looking into it, but that's why I'm here.
All right, bro.
Wrap my mind around that.
Okay, it's time to level up. Even though I love it. I love the houses that we built in North Carolina. They look amazing. You know, it's funny because I do so much real estate without ever stepping foot on the property, like seeing it or being there. I've done so many transactions where I've never seen the property, which I don't recommend, by the way. Okay, so just erase that part. Don't do what I do. Just do what I say now. So commercial real estate is now, you got multi-units, you got anything that is bigger than 4 units. It's office buildings, it's triple net leases, it's warehouses, you know, all those things are commercial, which is not your typical residential. All right, so you can buy into that. Again, I'm going to say the bank's going to look at the income and how much money this property can make, and that's commercial. A lot of commercial deals, people exit their businesses and go into commercial deals because they exit their business. They have a lot of money. They're not going to buy 10 residential houses. Okay, they're not going to buy 10 single families or whatever. Maybe they'll buy a 10 unit, a 16 unit. You know, those are considered commercial. They'll buy a triple net where, you know, a business, a CVS is in there paying rent, paying all the stuff, and you just collect money, right? That's probably one of the easiest ways. You own real estate and you don't have to do anything. Now, another one that I don't really like particularly, because it's basically like stocks, is real estate investment trust, or it's called REITs. REITs is not owning the actual asset. It's owning a piece of a portfolio that owns the asset or multiple assets. Okay, so basically between you and the real estate, there's probably a bunch of people that touch that money. And usually those returns, I haven't invested in one, but I don't know if you participate in the upsides. Like when they do a refinance, you're probably out of the deal if you get your money back, right? They're not going to keep you in the deal like how a real estate deal should, which when you refinance, you should still stay in the deal, right? Even if you got all your money back. That's the beauty of real estate when you get to something called the infinite returns. Lots of my deals are in infinite returns. Multiple times actually. And the other one is, which is something that I'm doing now, is real estate syndication, which is I help and bring a bunch of people together and we buy larger assets that we couldn't buy alone. Okay, so we buy an apartment building, we buy a large storage unit, you know, something like that, where on our own, none of us can actually do it, but we put it all together And now we can buy this big deal and I operate it, I manage it, I run it. Okay, so the investors still get to stay limited. You get to be a true passive investor because I'll take care of the work. Now, if you are learning and wanting to be on the general partner side, which is called a GP, we also teach that, and that's kind of what we really get into in our Legends Mastermind group. We talk about what it takes to be that, and it takes more than just knowing how to do it. It's also knowing how to be in relationship. Okay, because this is now a team game. You're gonna have to be on a team with somebody. A lot of people are afraid of partnerships because of how partnerships have ended. And either you've been in a partnership that hasn't worked for you, so it made you jaded about partnerships, or you've heard stories about partnerships. Yeah, so these are my two pictures that I could find: single family, commercial. Now I could have found a better commercial deal property, but something about this, I do like old historical things. I don't know why, but usually I should have probably put a better picture of a more sexy building. But typically these types of class C buildings, this will be a class C probably, they have higher cash flows, they have opportunities to be able to value add. If you're going to go, and that this is different, this will be a different conversations when we go into classes of real estate to buy. Okay, so real estate syndication. Oh wait, my mouse just died. Hold on. Okay. Some of the key considerations about buying into real estate, number one and always, is location. Okay, when you have a deal that's in a good location, you will be the last to not have a tenant. You will be the last if foreclosures was to come across the board because of your location. Now, obviously, you can't be a bum operator and run into the ground, but location is usually going to save you even if you suck. Even if you don't know what you're doing, a lot of times people maybe not generate as much profits, but because of location, they still come out ahead in real estate. Okay, so location is the number one thing. The second one is like your market analysis. If you have a plan on this real estate, like, do you want to buy in a place that has 281 people that lives there or 100,000? Right? Like, like, can your business plan work when there's that many people? How many is the population growth happening there? Is there what's the unemployment rate look like over there? Because if unemployment rate is high, that means you're probably going to get somebody in your unit that's not going to pay rent and you're going to have a problem. Right? The other thing that you want to look at that you may not consider is who's the employers in the area. Right? Like Detroit had one big Trojan horse, which was Ford. Everybody in all of Detroit worked for Ford. When Ford decided to lay off half the company, the entire real estate market went to shit. And so you want to see how many people are employing? What are the big employers? Is it just one big company coming in? And what's coming in? Right. So those are some of the market analysis type of stuff. There's a bunch of other things to consider. Median income, right? Like we can go into a whole talk about market analysis, and we mostly do that on our Thursday underwriting call on how we analyze markets. How rents should be. You should be able to, people's incomes, their median income in the area should be 3 times what you're charging for rent. All right, so that's one way to look at deals. So there's a lot of stuff like that. Now, financing options is another big thing, right? A lot of people are in trouble because they got the adjustable rents, the rates that at 3.6%, it's a beautiful deal. But when rates went flying like last year, which I don't think it would continue to happen, but I do think that I'll talk about it in a second, but rates went flying really high, really fast, and people were not able to prepare. Okay, they weren't able to raise rents. They weren't able to do their business, implement their business plan yet, and rates shot up. And now they're paying double the amount of money that they were going to pay for mortgage, plus the lenders asking for more money in the reserves, which you were allocating 5,000, and now they want 50,000. Right, so it's very quickly because of the financing options. Like, you got to be able to know. Now, we are in deals. Aaron and I have done deals with adjustable and with high interest loans, but our specific play is that we're going to flip these properties. We're building them and we're going to flip them. We don't want fixed debt because then we're going to be paying $100,000 just to refinance out of it. right? So we got to put in those barriers, and that's all part of the underwriting process when you're, also considering your financing options. Now, all the different ones there is, one of the popular ones out there now is seller financing, right? Some sort of seller financing, some sort of sub two, transferring without including the bank. And today, okay, if you want to learn that method, right, look up Pace Morby, there's a lot of people doing this, and it's going to become more popular because as it's harder to acquire money from the banks, to get money from the banks, sellers, the baby boomers are coming to a time where everybody's going to retire. That means there's going to be businesses coming out on sale, right? Everything's going to be fire sale because they're just done with it. They have already made their money tenfold. And they're just like, here, take my business, $30,000. I'm gonna walk away, have fun with it. Or maybe they'll say 100,000, give me 10 grand, and I'll finance the rest, and I'm off to Bali, or I'm off to, wherever. And you run the business, you just pay me monthly. That's possibility across the board, not only in business, but in real estate, right? You got all of these under 30 units is usually owned by a mom pop that bought it for $200,000 and now is going to exit at 2 million, 3 million, $5 million. They got like a $200,000 loan on the building left, and they're going to make $2.8 million. All you got to do is say, hey, I'll give you, they may not even ask you for money. Like Pace Morby has gotten a bunch of deals with money, no money down. But I would say realistically, hey, I'll give you $500,000. Give you $500,000. You finance the rest. Can you make it work still? Right. So seller financing, you get to get creative, which in real estate, creativity might be the difference between making a deal work and not having a deal work. Right. Because you know that this is a good asset. If you just held it for a period of time, you're going to make money. Okay, hold on. Who's not muted? Okay. Anyways, so the last thing is property management. This is where you're going to have to decide, are you going to put in the work or you're going to hire it out? Okay. If you hire somebody for your single family, don't expect them to do anything for you. Okay. You're going to rent something out for $1,000 a month. You're going to give them $90, $100 a month. They're not going to, who's working? Who's picking up the phone? Will you pick up the phone at 3 a.m. or 2 a.m. for $100 a month? No, you won't. Nobody is. So that's why we go scale more units. They make more money. They're going to pick up the phone. They're a real property management company. So you have to decide, am I going to manage it or is somebody going to manage it? Okay. If you go into a single family, duplex, triplex, quadplex, get ready to manage. Okay. Because you're going to have to. All right. Because you're going to get to know everybody's first names in Home Depot and in Lowe's. All right. I think a lot of us that have done any sort of renovation or reconstruction or even just fixing up a bathroom probably have gone to Home Depot like 1,000 times. And you know all the people that work there. So I've been through that. So it's not that fun. Definitely not worth the money that I made from it. Now, the experience, the learning, of course, can't take anything away from that. But property management, who's going to do it? Now, the last slide that I have here is how to get started today. And these are questions that you have to answer for yourself. Do you have money or do you not have money? Okay. Don't let this money thing be the reason why you don't get into real estate. That is the reason why everybody doesn't, because they think they got 5,000. They're like, oh, the only thing I can do is stocks. Well, it's not the truth. Okay. Robert Kiyosaki bought his first property for like, what was it? I think it was like $3,000, something like that. And he put it on his credit card. That was the first property he bought. So if he can do it, everyone else can. A lot of people got these stories of starting with no money. Okay. You're not expected to have money to do real estate off the bat, but that's why you have to learn. Okay. You have to learn how to do it. And you have to be able to bring people to invest with you. And the best way to do it is if you know your brother or your mom or whoever has some money sitting around, you're like, they know nothing about real estate, invite them to this call, ask me the questions that you want them to hear, and get it started and get that conversation started. Because when I say it, it will sound different than when you say it, because they know you too long and they got a whole story of who you are and they keep you in the little box. Right? You're going to have to earn your way out of the box, out of the boxes that people have you in. Yeah, first property you bought, 5K. Nice. So you want to define your investment goals. That means, okay, if you want to write this down, you can, which is it for cash flow? Is it short term? Is it long term? Is it for long term accumulation of the building of your wealth? Okay. Or do I need cash flow? Do I need to and then your goals also, do I want to be passive or do I want to be active? And then also, how much passive income do I need so that I can quit whatever it is that I'm doing that I don't like doing? If you like doing it, keep doing it. All right. And then the third thing is you got to educate yourself. Education. Okay. Jim Rohn says, his quote is one of my favorite quotes, is that your income is not going to far exceed your education or your personal development. So you got to educate yourself. Education comes first. Everyone thinks they can do things without education. That's why people get into trouble. Right. Yesterday, somebody was on another call and they were talking about how they got started, and all they did was listen to the realtor and bought something that their realtor told them to buy. And it was a terrible purchase because they didn't have education about it. Right. And so many people fall into that trap is, let me just begin doing it without education. I mean, why? Would you want your doctor to be operating on you without going to school, without graduating? If you don't, then why would you want to get started without without proper education? So write down for yourself, what is educating yourself look like? Time block every day. How much time am I going to put into it? What am I going to do? What podcast am I going to listen to? When I'm at the gym, am I listening to music or am I listening to the podcast? Am I listening? Am I driving and listening to music, or am I listening to some sort of course or whatever? Right? How much time am I going to dedicate to this? Because if you're serious, then you got to put time into it. You got to grow your foundations. Super important. And then also assembling your professional team, which is your realtor. Okay. You got to feel good with the realtor that you're working with. I mean, we've worked with some crappy, shitty ones, and it's not fun. Okay. But I was new and I didn't know any better. And I just felt bad. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll just listen to you. All right. So that comes with experience and comes with right mentorship. So your professional team, who's going to be your mortgage broker? All right. Aaron's done all of my mortgages because I trust him. But so Aaron, if you need refinance, if you're looking for creative financing, all sorts of stuff, Aaron has gotten it done. I once closed 3 deals in 3 days when I was first getting started. And it was not possible with my credit and my income, but we did it. We had to do it in specific order. And we closed 3 deals, 3 days, right, Aaron?
True story.
Wow.
True story.
And he actually didn't think I could do it in the beginning. He's like, there's no way. I'm like, there's a way. You just got to find it for me, Aaron. So, right. Like, you got to have that type of relationship. So Aaron did. He helped me make that happen. And every one of my deals in single family side, Aaron has done because he knows, like, he knows my expectations, and there's been times where I would get like upset and I wouldn't feel like scared to express it. Like too like I don't want to be mean. What am I going to look like? Right. You got to develop a real relationship with somebody. So, that's, assembling a professional team. Who's going to be your CPA, your real estate CPA is super important. It's not just the CPA you've been using your whole freaking life that knows nothing about real estate. You're going to have to, Aaron, put your contact info in the chat. You're going to have to get a new CPA that's real estate focused. If you're serious about getting into real estate, because they're going to help you strategize. Okay, strategizing is important. Your first question to your CPA should be, do you own real estate? If you're going to get into syndications and you're going to invest money in a crowd fund like that, hey, CPA, have you done any of that? No, I haven't. Okay, cool. Well, I'll get back to you. Oh, but I know people that has. Okay, well, great. My CPA he's invested in multifamily deals in every single state. And he knows the game. So I trust it. I trust that if he's invested in there, he knows the game. Right. So assembling your professional team, super important. You got to know who's got your back, who's going to be your legal advice, who's going to be your accounting advice, who's going to be your mortgage person, your professional team. You got to put that together. Now, I didn't put after this, I should, which is the other team. Like, who do you want to play with? Right? Who do you feel like you vibe with? Who's going to be your mentor? Who's going to be your coach? Who do you want to learn from? That's another one. Okay. That's actually probably more important than the other ones, because your mentor could probably help you find the right professional team too. All right. Like, I've had many mentors, and I've had mentors that I've never met. Never met Robert Kiyosaki. I consider him my first mentor. So find the mentor. The more you can get in one-on-one relationship with, better. All right. So now this red button was really, I liked it a lot. This is my favorite slide of all my slides, because you can literally touch your screen and say start, and you've declared that you're going to start. Okay. So you're going to take action, whatever that looks like. I'm going to take action. My committed action is that I will be on Alex's call for the next 2 months. Every single Monday night, I'm going to be here. And I'm going to bring people to be here because I want to create a power posse, right? You want to form your own team, and you want them to hear what you heard here. The easiest way is to do that. That's why I invite people to conferences, because I don't feel like explaining all the shit to them. I want them to come to the conference and hear it from Grant Cardone, and then we can have a conversation after. I go to every event, and I just invite a whole bunch of people there. I brought 55 people to Grant's Real Estate Summit. 55. Because I want people to be, and some of you guys are on here that I brought, and others are going to be like, oh, the next one's is going to message me. I know some of you are going to message me afterwards, be like, hey, when's the next Grant Cardone event? Let's go. All right. So take action, just get started. So that's my presentation. Andrea, Nick, I hope I made you guys proud. Questions, Q&A time. Just feel free to unmute yourself or raise your hand, whatever. Man, was I that clear?
I have a question that's a little more advanced, so I don't know if you want me to wait till the end.
Nope, just go with it. Let's see.
I have 2 questions. So when you're an accredited investor and you're calculating your net worth, are you subtracting out your expenses from that? Or
when you're calculating your net worth?
Right, you have to own $1 million worth of real estate to be an accredited investor, right?
Oh, yeah. You got to take your assets and you got to minus the liabilities, and then you have your net worth. So if you have $1 million property and you have an $800,000 loan, you really have a $200,000 net worth.
Okay, cool. It's good to know.
Yes,
All right,
and
the
Sylvia,
next question I have, oh, wait, sorry. Can I ask my next question?
Yeah, sure. Nobody else is asking. Wait, Ken's got a question, but go ahead.
When you're on the GP side and you get that 2% for asset management, when does it actually get paid?
So we do it on our distribution, like with the distribution. Like if we do a 70-30 split, so it just comes out every time we do a distribution.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, good question. Now, Ken said, what's your average fixed rate you lock in your commercial loans at? I mean, I haven't gotten one. I mean, if you're talking about right now, we've seen a couple that were below 6 for Freddie. But I would say there's going to be a couple more, probably one more hike or something like that. Yeah, 5.75 Freddie. So yeah, you can lock it in at that. Now, again, the bigger the deal, the better rates you're gonna get, by the way. Okay, so like this is why you want to collaborate together and buy a deal, because you get better rates. Everything is better and cheaper, and you buy it at scale. You reach this economy of scale, which allows you to get a better deal. Make sense?
So what does it take to become part of your syndication or to invest with you guys?
Yeah. So, I'm glad that you asked. We do have a current ongoing deal. If you want to, learn more about it, Nick, if you can put my calendar link on there.
Yep.
So from our Thursday call, actually a lot of people have filled up my calendar, but I do still have a lot of time
Okay.
open that you can just click on one. And it's hard for me to just schedule it without the Calendly, because
Mhm.
I used to hate this. I used to hate when people are like, oh, schedule on my Calendly. But really, it's not like I want to be an asshole, but it's just when it's not on my calendar, it just falls apart. It falls by, and I don't want to do that. I want to make sure everybody gets on the call.
Yeah, no, I
So,
get it for sure.
okay.
I live and die by
Okay.
my calendar. Everything is scheduled in. I have to.
All right, great. Because I know you know me, and I don't want to be like, hey, Barbara, like, here, take my Calendly.
No, I understand. I even schedule in my family time and everything is, it's like,
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, like,
my
and
wife,
people are like, oh, you're so important. I'm like, no, it's just a way for me to stay organized and everything gets done.
yeah, my wife puts things on my calendar. She's
There you
like,
go.
hey, it's on your calendar. We're doing this. I'm like, oh, thanks. You blocked it out for
Yeah.
me. All right. So yeah, it's not about some like cool looking or high power, whatever. It's just about effectiveness. And I want to be my word. Like if I say I'm going to get on a call with you, like if it's on my calendar, I'll do it. Sometimes I'll reschedule if something comes up like an emergency, but 95% of the times I'm literally right here doing calls all day. Like this is my grind. This is my, I'm building as well. Same thing with everybody else. Like we're building something, we're up to something. Like wake up in the morning, want to do it, go to sleep, thinking about it, wake up, do some more of it. Right? You want to find that passion. Everybody should be more like JJ. JJ's is going right to YouTube editing every single day. He's on vacation. He's editing videos. Like it's very inspiring. We should all strive to find passion like that. Whatever it is, play the guitar, play the piano, just do it. Yeah. So we'll talk about that. So if anybody wants to, get into our deal, which is in Las Vegas, we can talk about why Las Vegas is great and all of that. So, now if you want to get started, Nick, can you pull up that sheet or put in the chat the sheet that I had you make? I want to get people that are serious, that wants to get started in like underwriting, analyzing deals, things like that. We're
Which
creating the doc that I just had you make. Literally right before this the opt-in
the
thing.
opt-in page. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this is for an like we're doing another, like a separate community, like on another network, which we're going to have a lot more. It's called a deal tank, right? So if you want to be a part of the deal tank, you're going to learn to underwrite, learn to pitch deals, learn to raise money, and you're going to get like live critiques of your deals. Like this is very valuable. We're going to bring other people to evaluate deals, things like that. You might see Trevor, or you might see Vlad over there. Some of us will have some celebrity. Yeah, it's like Shark Tank, and it's like Shark Tank and Deal or No Deal put together, right, in one place. So this could be anything. Like we'll look at any deals. It's not just multifamily. We'll look at single families. The most important thing is that you are very clear on what your business plan is. And so from that, We're going to create it. We're going to create a little community there. We'll have a little course, and we'll have people, by being together in one place, focus on something, your chances of having it happen goes way up. All right. So we want to really just, Nick put that link in there. That's going to be just for people that are serious. Like if you're serious enough to click on the link and put your email and whatever in there, then you're serious enough to come and be a part of that. Okay. It'll be fun, and I hope that more like we can start to move and create a very awesome community in that space. Because as much as we can do these all day, there's really no action steps from this, right? The action step is to go to that. All right. And the other thing that I want to land right before, and we'll take some more questions is Nick, can you pull up? Nick's not even here.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. So we've bought our video editor a amazing computer, and so she can now edit a lot more videos. And we just want to make it like we want to help people start on social media. I think it's so important that people like really begin to utilize social media. And so Nick is sharing it. We're literally like going to edit videos for $500 a month for you. 4 videos a week. We'll edit them, put the cool captions, your video, your Instagram or your TikTok or whatever can look like mine. And it's important to get started. It's important to be seen on what you're doing, what you're up to. Like nowadays, when you meet somebody, they're going to look you up on social media, whether it's LinkedIn or Instagram, instead of having to like, hey, this is me, I do this. Look at my Instagram. My Instagram is going to tell you everything about who I am. That way I don't have to go and spend 2 hours with you on that. By the time we talk, you already know what I'm up to. You already know what I've been doing. You can see my consistency, my commitment to the hustle. Right? You see that, wow, dude, this guy is freaking, he has a video every single day for the last year. Didn't even miss a single thing. And so we're really only taking 4 people. Okay, that's only space that I know our editor can handle. And so we're going to take 4 people that's going to be on here, and what you'll get is you'll get a like a monthly kind of call with us to strategize what you're doing. And JJ's been teaching me what to do with shorts, so I'll relay and bring that and pass that knowledge over to you guys on how to make the best hooks, so that you can get started. Like this is the best way, and it's so cheap. My social media costs way more than this, and this is the best way to get started. And we just want to do whatever we can to help. And then we also have if you don't have a CRM, you got to have a CRM, which is to put your, bring all of your contacts and stuff from the top of the funnel into a dedicated email funnel. All right. The importance, and Nick put his Legend CRM in there, the importance of it. And we build a community around that. We teach you how to do it. We have a call every single Wednesday. We help you through the whole thing. It's very, very extensive, and we build a whole platform out for you already. So the CRM is extremely important, especially now, because in the future, they're talking about when you sign up for things, they're going to give you one-time emails. That means you can sign up for things without opting into anything. Collecting emails today is going to be extremely important. And the faster you can do it, and the sooner you do it, the more important it is, because at some point they're going to come out. I guarantee you, Facebook, Instagram, they're going to have these Google, they're going to have one-time emails that when you sign up for stuff, it just has a one-time email. You want to start collecting and building that now. Like if my Instagram was to disappear tomorrow, I know I still got my CRM. And those of you guys that get my emails, get my text messages, I can get you guys back on this call. If I offer something else, it can follow up too. Right. Yeah. Somebody just messaged me. I love your follow-ups. What system do you use? I use that exact one. legendcrm.com. Boom. Go to that. Right. So yeah, you want to build that your business. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Social media, CRM is going to be something that you have to have if you want to excel in any business, if you want to excel in real estate, if you want to build a strong network, you got to have that. Right. And like I base my some of the KPIs I look at is how many people is coming into my CRM from my Instagram. My call to actions. Hey, check out my free call on Monday nights. Check out my free call on Thursday nights. Check out my free lead about this. Everything is free because I just want your email addresses. All of you guys that have registered, you're in my ecosystem. Yeah. So, so it is a form of Go High Level that we've customized and built out for you guys with the workflows and everything in there already. So, yeah. Okay, that's enough of my saying what we offer. Any more questions about anything that I've covered before we give you guys the opportunity to network with each other? Any feedback about the call? What else should I add? What did you, was it helpful? Who's going to invite somebody to this call next week? All right. Yes. Okay. I love it. Love it. Love it. All right, cool. Yeah. I'm going to invite somebody to this call too.
So quick question with the social media stuff, would that also work for someone like me in insurance that I'm building out on that? Or is it only for real estate?
Does it support you to have 1,000 more eyes look at what you're doing, to see what you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you have the answer right there, because I don't even see, if you had social media, I didn't know you're doing insurance or any of that. Right? We've known each other, but if you were on social media talking about it, I would know to send somebody to you. Right? I would be like, somebody would ask me, and then all of a sudden I'm like, yeah, go to Barbara, because you're telling me every day you're doing it. Like
exactly.
people,
You see it.
Yeah. So of course it matters. Like people tell me all the time, they're like, man, when I see you, like when I think about multifamily, your name is one of the first names that comes up. I'm like, oh, awesome. When I think
what I was meaning is like the package you have, if it applies to insurance as well.
Yeah, whatever you want to do, we make happen for you. We can customize and build out CRM for you as well. You probably already have some sort of CRM, but it's
not as exactly what I want. So something more customized.
I mean, we build out custom. So like, for example, you go into mine and you go, you'll get if we meet, right, you'll get a drip of 10 sequential emails about me. Like immediately, if you scan my QR code on my phone, you will get a text message that comes right back to you immediately that says, hey, it's great to connect. This is my Instagram. Check it out. I do a free Monday night call. This is the link. You can literally click it and register without even entering your email. And here's my Thursday call. All the info, boom, right there. When people sign up, like that is extremely valuable in the creation of your business, whatever your business may be. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. So that's something I'm interested in. I want to build a brand around what I do versus just being, an insurance person that, nobody knows. So
we're going to help you become that. For like, if I wasn't doing my social media, you wouldn't know I'm in real estate. Right?
Exactly. That's how I know, because I see you all the time. Yeah.
It works. Right?
It works in your face 24/7, like Grant Cardone says, right?
There you go. Yeah.
He had people unfriending him and he just kept posting. He didn't care.
Yeah. I'm glad you followed GC too. Uncle G.
Yeah. And I have a quick question. Do you guys do anything like with infinite banking in terms of tying that with real estate? Because that's why I got into insurance, because of the fact that I tie it in with real estate.
Yeah, last week I actually had somebody on this call that talked a lot about it. I'll send you the link to the replay, and then you can also chat with her about it. She's got her opinions about it, and you know, she actually will show you the numbers all the way out, you know, and it like I just don't know why I would put some vehicle in between me and investing my money into the deal. Right. So that's the bottom line. Like the infinite banking, yeah, it says that you're gonna be earning an interest, your money's in there, but you borrow the money out. So now you're paying the insurance interest for your own money. Like it doesn't even make sense.
So you're paying yourself back. You're actually paying yourself back because you make dividends off of it. And you know, I've seen people who use it and realize, well, that's why I use it, because my money is earning compound interest uninterrupted in two places at the same time. So I essentially become like the banks. I don't know if you follow Mr. Burr on Instagram.
I know very well on that topic, you know, and people have talked to me a lot about it, you know, and I almost did it like 5 times, but I didn't.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we funneled in about $100,000 into a policy, and then we used that money to invest in real estate. So we have our money growing in 2 places at the same time. One is uninterrupted compound interest, right? So after I understood it, that's when I was like, okay, this is really cool.
Okay,
but
yeah, maybe. I mean, I would love to, when we set up a call, I would love to hear more about it and exactly how it works, you know, because if I haven't done it, I'm only speculating. All right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, you are actually doing it, then great. I would like to hear more about it and get a, you know,
and I would like to know about the girl that you said was talking about it. And
she's really cool. She's really, really awesome.
Okay.
She helps us put all the IRA money into self-directed and invest into our deals. So things like that. Okay. Hey, Anastasia. Look who it is. You gotta unmute yourself though. Thanks, Barbara. I'm really glad you're here. Hey.
I didn't know I could unmute myself. Well, hi.
Hi.
Finally get into these meetings. I keep missing it. And I'm like,
it's good timing.
So actually you answered a lot of the questions that were asked, which was about the customization. But did you say already what it costs to customize your funnel? Like if we were to do it with you guys?
Yeah, Nick, what is it? Like $100? Something ridiculous.
Oh, the CRM?
Yeah.
So the CRM is $99 a month or $970. And you get a 14-day free trial when you sign up at legendcrm.com.
And you get constant coaching.
Yeah,
like
and then Wednesday calls every week. So we can help you like set up on the calls on Wednesday and walk you through the software.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Is there like another like setup fee besides the monthly though?
Nope.
So the setup is kind of like do your own, but there's a 3-hour course that kind of walks you throughout the entire setup.
And it's
CRM.
And then you can also, and every Wednesday you hop onto a call with us. Yeah. And we literally set things up for people like on the spot as we teach, you know.
And that's completely free. So if you hop on the Wednesday call and you need help, we'll help you set up as much as we can.
Yeah.
Okay. Now a question, if I already have through another company, is there a way to transfer over?
What kind of?
My situation is I invested in an ad agency, but I didn't like too much what they were doing. I felt like they were a little too cookie cutter, evergreen, and it wasn't working for my industry. So I have stuff built in there, but I don't know how to use it. So I'm just paying a month.
You can convert that.
Yeah, you can take all your contacts out, as Ken says in the chat. You can export them as a CSV, and then you can kind of rebuild your funnels in
the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, and the difference, like everything that we do is we want to create continuous coaching. We want to create community around everything. That way we give everybody the most success in having it happen. Right? Like I don't want to just create an underwriting course and be like, here you go, take it and watch me on video. And here's a course doing it. Like we want to create a community around it. We do our CRM. We want to create a community around it. We got social media. We want to build a community around it. You know, like I'm working with JJ to create something like that, right? That we
Mhm.
will roast people's videos and stuff, and it would be great.
Now,
It's
I'm not a real estate person. I'm extremely new to it,
yes.
but I do want to tie my, massage into that. So that's so I was wondering because I actually provide wellness experiences to Airbnb um, management companies' guests. So I wanted to, I guess, do something like that and then somehow turn that into like, okay, me getting into real estate more. I don't know. I'll figure it out when in terms of the branding, but I
Yeah.
thought that'd be a good tie-in so that I'm not completely giving up one industry for another.
Yeah, I would say, first get very clear on what your agreement's going to be. And
Okay.
the thing that I teach all the teams too right now is when you think about like if you have an opportunity to work with an operator or someone that owns,
Yeah.
don't